to draw cartoons with John-Marc. Hey, it's John-Marc and welcome to today's lesson on teaching you how to draw cartoons. I have 3 new fun cartoons to share with you. The first one is going to be a little dinosaur. Feel free to change it to your style. The second one is going to be a cactus in a jar. Really creative ideas with that one, so feel free to use your imagination. The third one is going to be a moon with a star, this little buddy, of course. So, as I always say, if you have your paper and pencil, I think we're ready to begin today's lesson. Today's lesson, we're going to be doing this cute little cartoon baby T-Rex. I'll be using both my mechanical pencil and an HB, as well as an 8.5 by 11 paper. Alright, so I create the head first, and then the body and the tail, and as you can see, this is like step number 1. Very loose, simple, light lines. Not hard, not heavy. Creating where the eyes go right now, the eyebrow, working on his mouth. So when you're working on some of the characters, think of them 3-dimensional in your mind. How their head is. It's an eye on one side, and can you see the other one here? Typically, as a cartoon, you have both eyes here, or one on each side of the face. Use your imagination, your creativity, and your choice. So I have the 2 legs out. That oval on the second one is the underneath part of the leg, and here's one of his little arms that I'm working on right now. Little elbow and shoulder. He only has 2 fingers. And then I have over here the other 2 fingers. So gesturally wise, so you can see when working on the characters like this, it's kind of tricky, but you want to show dimension or movement. So I kind of have him stepping and 1 foot in the air, 1 hand up and 1 hand in another position. Now you can see I'm grabbing the paper with my left hand, and I come back with the number 2 pencil, which is, it's actually an HB. This pencil is a lot heavier than my mechanical pencil, which is a number B, much softer and kind of like you can smudge it easier. You can see the amount of detail I can get with my HB pencil. Well, not so much detail, I should say sharper line. Doesn't mean I can't. Now I'm working on his face and I rotate the paper, which makes it easier for me to move around with my hand and get that sharp line, and I go a little slower when I'm actually in this mode. Consider step 2. Working on his eyebrow. Here's the other one on the other side of the face. I'm just giving some little basic shadowing there, just so that it looks like it's on the other side. Here's his mouth open. Gotta give him some teeth. There's 1. To give him 2, maybe a third one, and a little one right there. His little mouth open. I'm just going to shade in the inside, and again, the distance between the lines in between either shows more shadow or less shadow. There's his whole back. And when you're working with this character, what type of pattern, what type of texture does he have on his body? Is it furry? Is it leather? Maybe he has some stripes or spots on his body. Now that's his little knee that I just created right there, and that's the back side of his leg. This is not like a dinosaur really would look like. This is a creative way of actually doing it. There's one of his toenails, and here's another one as well. That's why I love being a cartoonist. You can use your imagination. So you may even want to put a hat on him, or put a jacket on him, or put spikes on the back of his tail. I mean, it's not a T-Rex then, but you know what? You could use your imagination and create it. I mean, that's kind of fun. There's his elbow there, going a little bit slower. You can see the design, the cartoon, a little bit more coming into shape. Now here's a trick. That's the bottom of his foot there. You can see in his toenail, I kind of bend over, but that's the flat side of the toenail that I have. Likewise, right, that's the flat side there, right there. All that there is underneath. And that's his part underneath his foot right there. And this is his leg here. And I'm just going to give a little bit more. Let's get that a little bit darker there. Let's just shade that in really quickly. That's just to say it's on the other side, and that's shaded underneath there. Here's his one finger I should say. Work on the other one there. There we go. And I'm just going to shade that one as well so it indicates on the other side. Afterwards, I'll probably scan this in and bring it to Photoshop and just use some watercolor or airbrushing technique. Ooh, yeah, let's give him some spots now. And let's give him some stripes in the back. And let's get another one down here further. That looks good. And there's another one on his back. And I'm just going to shade it in, indicating that it's going to be a darker color, lighter color. Alright, that's looking good. The sketching, a little leg right there, his belly. You could give an indication of a belly, a little light tone when you're actually coloring. His leg, let's give a little horizon line right here so he's walking. And there we go. Let's get the nose there. Yeah, here we go. Let's give it some indication. Two little schnauzer stones in there. There you go. That's looking good. But you know, let's add some rocks here first. Yeah, quick little line gestures. Some grass growing behind it. That's looking good there. A little shadow there. Here we go. We're just really quick. There you go. That looking good.
Now that was a fun lesson on sharing how to draw that cute little cartoon dinosaur. What did you do different? Possibly changing the shape of the whole dinosaur altogether. Maybe it was in a different background. Was it in a jungle? Or in a desert? Whatever you did, using your imagination is what I want you to really learn, and also learn to sketch as always. So if you like this lesson, wait for the next one. So stay tuned. Welcome back to my show. I hope you enjoyed the first lesson. Now the second one is going to be this cute little cartoon cactus in a jar. Using your imagination is what I really want you to play up with this one. Change the shape of the cactus, add a cactus in there, change the jar. Whatever you did, practicing your imagination and sketching is the key thing. So if you have your paper and a pencil, I think we're ready to begin the next lesson.
I'm currently working with my mechanical pencil and a typical 8.5 by 11 paper. I'm going to be just sketching out the shape very simply, forming the actual bottle first. And my mechanical pencil is actually a number B weight for the type of lead that I'm using. A little bit softer. And you can see I'm just creating the shape of the little bottle first. I have a cork that I'm going to be putting on the top. And be creative. Your bottle doesn't have to be this type of a shape. It could be a total unique creativity, and it may not have to have a cork on the top. You could have flowers popping out as well. But inside the bottle, I'm actually going to create some sand on the base there, giving a little distance from the glass to give that little narrow window like it's actually there. And here's 2 eyeballs. Again, change the expression as well. So your character may have more of a sad, sleepy, tired, goofy face. Perfectly great. I'm just making a little happy face right now. Here's one of the cactus that I'm working on. A typical standard, like a star cactus. And then I'm going to have another one right next to it on the side there. That looks good. The basic, this is considered again like my step 1. Now what I'm doing is giving like some 3-dimensional curves to it so you can see how the shape is actually turning. There's a bottle there, the outside rim looking good. Let's get some eyebrows on top. Very simple. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, let me switch over to my HB pencil. So this lead, once again, is a little stiffer than the B. So when I'm working on it, it doesn't smudge as much. but I'm going a little bit harder now. This almost would be considered between like step 2 and step 3 on filing my illustration, this little cute little cartoon. And what you'll notice is my hand on the left side again, I have it in a position where as an animator, we have like each finger would have it. So it's easier for me to rotate the paper quickly instead of trying to find the edge and picking it up. But just a little note. Sometimes you may think you can't move the paper. Feel free to make it easier for your hand to move. And these are just a sketch. This is not the final rendition of this little cartoon. And my final one, I actually may take into Photoshop and color it in. I might leave the pencil sketching technique on there or bring it into Illustrator, ink it in Illustrator, and then bring it back into Photoshop and airbrush it. So you can see I'm working on the outer rim of the actual bottle. Just going lightly, and tendency right now my sketching is a little bit slower. As a first step, I'm a little bit quicker because I'm not worried about the shape too much at that time. This is just to get the form out. And now right now I'm going a little bit slower just so that you can see more detail. This is the area where the sand would actually be with the 2 cactus. And I'm just coming back to the bottle, giving it a little neck there. Let me make sure it looks pretty similar. It's okay if it's a little off. Again, this is just a simple sketch. This is right where the outer bottle neck is there, and I'm going to try to keep a 2 rim there. It's kind of give a little bit more dimension to the top of the bottle, and then that cork in the inside there. There you go. So no spiders or bugs get inside. That's just being silly with the cork right there. All right, shading on the top and bottom so you kind of see what it looks like. All right, now let's work on a little bit more shape on the cactus and getting that a little bit more in shape there. It's a little bit darker right now. It's looking good. A little slower. It's kind of like a basketball. If you had a basketball, you would see those lines just like that shape. What else can we do? You know what? Let me add the flower on the top right now. See, even though I was past step 1, my really quick sketch, you can still come back to doing more detailed or change it up. And that's what I love about sketching. You can change up, be creative about it. Note, I'm not using my eraser much of the time. I'm just using my typical pencil. If I don't like it, I'll just rework on another illustration. But this is just to get your thoughts down. And I got to get those little pokey things on a cactus, you know. When you do get them, they hurt. Now, you see me shading here on the bottom side and top, so that gives some more dimension. Just quick little shading, so you can kind of see how the shape of the cactus is actually looking. Same with the bottle now. Inside there, that's the sand in there. So I'm just quickly putting that all together in there. And you know what? Maybe the freckles could represent little stones in there in the sand. And I'm just going to shade on the bottom right now. Very simple. As you can see, I'm going to move my pencil and hold it differently. This is the HB pencil. See how that look? I'm holding it flat down there and using the edge, the side of the pencil when I'm shading. It gives it a more easier to, right now you'll see how I shade right here. When I'm shading inside there. A little bit different than straight down with the lead. You're using the side of the lead. It feels so much different. I have other lessons on shading coming out pretty soon. You know, and let's get a little bit more little dots like the cork in there. And let's give it a little shine. And it's like right around there. If this was like a reflection on the bottle, just to give it an indication. That's looking good. I like that. Yep.
Hey, now that was a fun lesson on that cute little cartoon cactus. What did you do different? Did you add some more buddies to it? Did you change the jar? All that I want you to do is have fun with all my lessons. So if you enjoy the first 2, I know you're going to enjoy the next one. So stay tuned. Welcome back to my show and the third and final lesson today. Well, we're going to be learning how to draw this cute little cartoon moon with a little star. Pay closely attention on how I sketch again. Start very light and go a little bit darker. But of course, using your imagination is always something I'm going to share with you. So if you have your paper and pencil, I think we're ready to begin the next lesson.
All right, let's begin the lesson. As you can see, I'm using a mechanical pencil on an 8.5 by 11 paper landscape. And I'm just quickly sketching out where the shape of the moon and this square, believe it or not, is where the actual star is. I'll explain that when we get closer. And you can see I'm using my crosshair to help with guiding where the eyes, nose, and mouth will be. Simple, very simple eyes. As you note, please note the far right eye is going to be a little different, that teardrop, because that's a perspective, that angling around that ball. A big nose for the moon here. And here's a little side note. What's your moon made out of? Is it made out of cheese? And if it is, what kind of cheese is it made out of? That's just something that I grew up with. They had actually always believed that the moon was made out of cheese. Just joking. As you can see, the big happy smile that the little moon, then putting the eyeballs in there. He's looking away. Now, if I move his pupils to the far left, it would be like he's looking at you. So he's staring away. That's something just to note. What type of expression that you're going to be putting on there. Here's a little fun note. Maybe you don't want to finish the entire expression each time. Just do the moon and make a Xerox it of the actual drawing when it's finished and change the expressions to different ones all the time. Or better yet, just keep redrawing it. That's actually better. And I'm just making like the moon craters on the sides here randomly, different shapes and sizes. Kind of like make those like freckles there. All right, let's get one on the other side. Giving that little dimension. Another little small one over here. And a top one on the well there. So this is like a little crescent moon. Let's make a little... Okay, there's a crater. It's like a little hole in that one. All right, so now with the star, what I did is I'm going to break up in a box and make a nice even star. As you can see, I'm taking the geometric shape and just creating that square box with those lines that help me guide me where the star. Later on, if you wanted to erase that box, you can. It's just a quick, it's a cartoon, it's a sketch, it's not supposed to be perfect. His eyes are actually going to be a little different. I'm just making them totally oval in that case. And you notice I made one a little bit bigger and the one smaller. That's just to give the expression a whole little different. There we go. You can see this one's bigger over here. All right. Now let's just curve it there. Coming back. You can see I'm going a little heavier now because this would be almost like the step 2 versus the step 1 that I normally do. Very light and coming back. The lead in this mechanical pencil is not an H. It is actually an HB, not a 2B. Yeah, I gotta extend that. So now I'm coming back to his nose, getting a little darker. And if you want to think about how you would color this in, what do you do? Like magic markers, color pencils, watercolors. Actually, watercolors would be really a good one on this one because you kind of get that neat effect on there. All right, there's a little tongue. I'm just going to shade in here a little bit right there. That's the dark part of the mouth, the inside there. That little shadowing in there. That's looking good. I like that. All right, I'm just going to trace the some of the elements again. I just didn't make them a little heavier, a little bit more stroke. You'll notice I will not erase at all again, and I'm not too worried about that. There's one eyebrow here. I'm going to color that one in, shade in rather, not color. All right, get more lead. All right, and that's again, I love the mechanical pencil because it's an easy, sharp pencil all the time. HB, the lead is a little heavier and sharper than my 2B that I normally use on that blue pencil. All right, kind of give them like a little chin, just playing around with that. Let's create some more little craters down here. And I'm just going to shade this one over here just to give some dimension. Anything on the opposite side, not standing on there. Yeah, there we go. Let's get this one over here too. Little shading. I like that. That's looking good. Yeah, let's get the top one as well. All right. Let's put another one right here. See, this is the key thing. Even though I did the first sketch, I can come back and add elements to the actual picture. You don't have to stick to the original sketch. All right, let's get the eyebrow a little heavier now with the eyes, a little bit darker. A little highlight, that little circle that gives a little gleam to it. And on the back over here, same thing, a little darker. That's looking good. I like that, the shadow. Yeah, let's create these little freckles, even though they're like freckled craters. I'm going to shade them in so they stand out a bit more. And let's shade this one in here as well, too. Let's get this. There we go. So it's like you can see it popped in. All right, let's get another big one over here, too. Another one. Let's shade that one in as well. Yeah, here we go. Again, it's just randomly. Yeah, I like that one there, too, that big one. A little small one here and there. More freckle ones. I'm just going to shade those in flat. There we go. Hey, it's looking good. I'm liking that right now. The little star there. Let's add some little stars randomly throughout the background. So if it was like a clear night, no clouds, you're going to see little stars here and there. And there we go. A little random, little small, big. Place them all over the place. Yeah, you know what? You know what? Speaking of clouds, let's add some clouds. So I'm just going to add a cloud right in the corner here right now. Another big one over in this spot here. I like that. That looking good. Yeah, it's like it's on the bottom. The stars are above. I think you can really have fun making that glow coming on there.
Now that was a fun lesson on sharing how to draw that cute little cartoon moon with his buddy. What did you do different with the moon? Did you add some more stars? Did you change the expression of the moon? Or did you make the moon out of cheese? Yeah, cheese, why not? What about that little cartoon little cactus in a jar? You can always go back and add more jars and more cactus. And how about that dinosaur? Feel free to use your imagination and add your own creative dinosaurs, or research and find out what dinosaurs look like and add them in there. Overall, I just want you to experience on how I draw, the techniques and style on sketching and being creative. So my website is jmg-studio.biz. I hope you enjoyed all 3 of these lessons and have a great day.
Ocean City is the place to be. If you want to see all the fish in the sea. Rich is a joker and Mel is super fast. Jammy and Jelly and Yo-Yo are a blast. Jellica's a beauty and all the friends agree. They're more than a family. They're friendly fish, friendly fish. There's nothing better than spending the day with friendly fish, friendly fish. Always on the go, always wanna play. There's so much adventure waiting here at the park. Just watch out for the piranhas, even some of the sharks. But if you're looking for some fun, here they are. They're